You've been in church for a short amount of time or your whole life. You've heard the words testimony or testify. But what exactly do they mean? And what does it matter to share your testimony? Well, think about it this way. In the context of a courtroom. Now, a witness's testimony is used as evidence of the facts, and they're there to testify of the truth. And their testimony is vital to the case because it's part of producing the outcome. Well, in the world of a believer, your testimony does the very same thing. You're a witness to what you've seen God do, and the facts are evidence that He is good. When you testify, other people are able to hear the facts and believe the truth for themselves. Like Revelation 12:11 says, they overcame Him by the blood of the Lamb and by the word of their testimony. Now, your testimony is one of victory. There is no testimony that's too small to share. And the reason it's so powerful, regardless of the magnitude, is because the devil can't defeat you when you've already got the victory. And he needs to be reminded of that. And that's why we love hearing your testimonies and sharing the testimonies of others. It really encourages our faith when we share with one another what God has done. Now, maybe you're believing for a house, a baby, healing, or even prosperity. And when you hear of someone else's victory, it gives you hope to keep walking towards the desired outcome of your own life, which is victory. Now, you can share your testimony with us by going to insidethevision.org/testify. And today, Diana and Aubrey are going to show you several testimonies. And I believe as you watch and listen intently, there'll be something that's key to your own testimony.
Partnership means so much to us here at Kenneth Copeland Ministries because partnership is connection, and it's connection with you. We want to believe God with you, use our faith with you, come together to see you all the way through to victory. And that is what happens in partnership.
Yeah. And I think one of the really important things about being able to share your testimony is that's the only way we can hear back from our partners.
That's right.
We
Absolutely.
want to hear that we're connecting with you. We want to hear that what we're sharing with you is being a blessing to you. And so being able to see what's taking place through the power of partnership makes such a difference. And it helps us go forward to propel other people to their place of victory.
And that's the power of a testimony. When you share that testimony, it propels others to continue believing. So go right now to insidethevision.org/testify to share your testimony.
I'm Pastor Billy Rash, and this is my wife, Shelby, and we're from Bakersfield, California. California, as you well know, people have said for a long time, as California goes, so goes the rest of the nation. Well, if that's what they're saying, then they need to continue to say it, but it should be going good, not bad. It shouldn't be in a bad connotation. And so we've hooked up with some other pastors, some other ministers that are also partners with Kenneth Copeland Ministry, because there's a network already there, a background already of partnership. And we've decided in California, the governor doesn't control it, and neither does the sin and the darkness and the liberalism. It should be the Word. It should be faith. And we were at a rally together with Rick and Eddie and some different pastors, and the Lord spoke to Shelby and said, it's time for pastors to complete with each other, not compete with one another. So out of that, we've decided then we're going to form partnerships with the churches that are of like mind. We call it Conservative Pastors for California. We're not running, we're not bailing, we're not saying people are leaving. God is sending people to California to help us change that state for His glory. Well, see, we're trying to change political atmosphere by natural things. And you have to vote, you have to do those things. But you gotta first attack it spiritually. California has got spiritual darkness over it. We as pastors, that our authority is there, we can't let that spread. I don't wanna correct that pastor or him correct me or us. Stop competing and correcting, encourage. Build each other up. So by building each other up and we become one mind in unity, that anointing flows, we can break the power spiritually, which in turn will break it politically. But it has to start in the spirit realm. So that's what we're going after. And so we've decided that we'll all pick up our part, complete one another, not compete with one another. So that's kind of what we're doing. And it all goes back to what I learned all those years ago with Brother Copeland, partnership. Connecting. People wonder about partnership. They think it's just financial. So much more than finances. It's connection. It's a divine connection, and it connects you to it. The anointing becomes available.
It's true. Partnership has been so important to us because it's kind of the activating agent that accesses. You know, when you have a corporate group together that are believing for the same thing, that are praying for the same thing, that are expecting the same things, your partnership is your seed. And the Copeland ministry has done so much for so many people in the sense of being that covering. And so we're just excited to be a part of this ministry. It has been a blessing to us, and it will continue to be a blessing to us as we continue to partner with them and encourage everybody that we talk to continue to partner up. And if they haven't, they need to do so now.
I just love hearing testimonies from our partners, and it's such an encouragement of the way partnership is supposed to work. And I have one here from Katrina, and she says, I'm so grateful for ITV. It has so helped me focus on my vision and not give up. And I think that's one of the really important things that people need to remember is don't give up. No matter what it looks like, keep it in front of your eyes.
Well, how do you keep it in front of your eyes? You have to write it down. You have to be able to see something. And when you become a KCM Vision Insider, you're gonna get your own vision journal to help jumpstart your vision journey by what? Writing it down. So you can go to InsideTheVision.org to sign up to become a Vision Insider. And while you're already there, go to the menu to share your testimony. We wanna hear from you today.
My name is Randy Roberts. I'm an evangelist, and our ministry is called Radical Walk. We have just returned from 7 weeks in Africa. We started off with about 2.5 weeks in Uganda, where we preached 2 crusades for Christ for All Nations, which is who trained me to do crusades. I like to say that Brother Moore and Brother Copeland, they've trained me how to live my life, and once I got somewhat of a handle on that, CFAN taught me how to do crusades. So we were there for a couple of weeks, and then I went to South Africa for about 5 days before we headed to Angola. And of course, KCM partners and Brother Copeland and Sister Copeland, they supported us financially, but they also supported us many other ways. This Angola actually started about 3 years ago. I had come back from Tanzania, and the Lord had shown me to go to Angola. And so first thing I had to do is, I had no idea where Angola was, so I got a map out and I began to look. And I found Angola, and then I got settled on a place. And the problem was I didn't know anybody from Angola. So in true faith fashion, I bought a plane ticket to Angola. And then maybe about maybe 3 or 4 weeks before I was supposed to go, came up in my heart one morning about KCM's Ministers Conference. And I didn't have an invitation to that, and I didn't know how to get one. So again, I did the only thing I knew to do, which was I changed my tickets. But we ended up getting into the Ministers Conference. Well, that's a blessing, of course, in of itself. But I'm there wondering, what am I doing here? That's Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday. So I'm going to Angola on Friday from Fort Worth. Now, I don't have one contact yet, but I'm trusting the Lord. So Wednesday evening, in between the afternoon session and the dinner session, I just got an unction that I needed to go to the headquarters building down to the cafeteria place there. So I come down the stairs, and as soon as I come out, I run right into a guy. Like, we run into each other. And I say, oh, excuse me, I apologize. He says, oh, I'm sorry. As soon as he talks, I can tell he's from Africa. And I say, I said, where are you from? He says, I'm from Africa. I said, where at in Africa? He says, I'm from Angola. I said, where in Angola? He says, Luanda. That's the city I was going to. Within 24 hours, he had me on a phone call with a guy that introduced me to every major national church leader except for 2 in the whole country. This chance encounter at the ministers' conference opened all of Angola to us. not in that first day, but since then. And last year we had gone to Angola, and we had 2 crusades in Luanda, and they were fair. We saw 103,110 salvations in those. And then we went back this year, and we went to out in the provinces, and we saw 342,024 salvations. We ministered to about 800,000 people total, and it was a glorious time. I thought back to something my pastor, Brother Moore, told me, or said, I've heard him say several times, is that the Lord had told him, your partners get the same reward that you do. And he said, what? And I thought, similar thing, what? I've slept on the dirt floors. I've had the rats crawling over me at night, et cetera, et cetera. And he said, are you sure that? And he said, the Lord asked him a question. Could you do what you do without them? And he said, no. And he said, the Lord said, why shouldn't they get the same reward? And that is absolutely the case here. We wouldn't be able to do what we do without our partners, which KCM is one of our partners. And so when we go, it's just like Brother Copeland's going. It's just like the KCM partners are going.
I want to read you this testimony. This is from Ashley, and she says, I just watched the first episode of Inside the Vision and just wept with joy and excitement throughout the episode. I was thanking God that I get to be a part of all of this. Thank you for your obedience and all the time and effort everyone has put forth to bring this about.
I love that.
It's just such an encouragement to me to hear something like that, that one of our partners is thinking, I get to be a part of this. And that's exactly what partnership is about.
Exactly what it's about. So we want to say to you, if you have partnered with Kenneth Copeland Ministries, whether it's for 40 years or 5 minutes, thank you. It is because of you that we are able to reach lives, change lives all around the world. Every testimony you saw today, it's because you have partnered with us. So thank you. So if you have a testimony to share, we want to hear from you. So simply go to insidethevision.org/testify. And if you need prayer, if you're standing on something, believing God for something, a baby, a house, whatever it might be, just give us a call, 877-281-6297.